You are the most punctual teachers ever. Class starts at 7. You connect at 7 o'clock. Excellent, guys. Good. Punctuality says a lot about you. First, before we start, I would like, well, first I want to share my screen. I want to share my screen. And last Sunday, you had one task, and it was to create escape room, remember, right? It was session 3, and you had to create an escape room for the topic of the simple present. I would like to show you what 2 of your classmates shared with me. For example, this is one. Here, as you can see, your classmate changed. She made changes. She changed the background. And here, she also changed this. She says that we have to move the leaves around. Nice. Oh, and here we have to find an apple. No, a key, but an apple. And here, well, in her escape room, she wants us to practice the past simple. So she changed it and she put 3 alternatives. Nice, nice. Okay, let's click on the wrong one. That's the try again. And then let's click on the right one. Good. As you can see, she added some movement to the words, the options. Here you have A, B, C, C, good. Here, let's see, yes. And this is escape. Bravo, nice, nice, nice escape room. This student, this teacher changed. There's another one that I would like to share with you, this one. Here, the teacher also changed the background and she changed some of the instructions as well. And here we have lots of things to move around. Yes, good work, right? Like I was here like moving everything around to try to find the key. It's a key. Yeah, it's a key. The dog, the plant. You know that it took me a while to find the key because it's not there. It was not easy to find it. You see? Nothing. Where is the key? Where is the key? Ta-da! Ah, this key was very well hidden. Very, very hidden. And here we have a timer. The teacher added a timer, right? For students to click. Let's click on the wrong one. Try again. And there is some sound. Oh, the try again sound. Oh, but I cannot go back. Oh, here. Yeah, I went back. Now this one. Some sound here, but oh yes. Awesome. This is the next one. Again, the teacher added some timer and the answer is das. And congrats. Yeah. Again, claps. Nice. So this teacher made some changes, added more interactivity, sound. Okay, right, nice, right? Oh, Maria Paulita, this task is already closed. Now you have a new task for this weekend. Every weekend we have different tasks and they are due every Sunday. I'm sorry.
Congratulations to those teachers.
Yes, congratulations, of course. And these are reusable, Genialis. They are reusable.
Very good job. Very good job.
Very good job. Yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys because when I saw that, I was very excited. I was very happy. Remember that here with Genially, you can just leave your creativity go because you can create many things, really. You have You can create amazing things here with Genially. It's just that we need some time and practice. All right, I'm gonna close this. And oh, yeah. Today, what's our session for today? Let's see. I'm gonna make this bigger and we start. So my student, the one that participates every class, Carlitos, could you please read the learning outcomes?
Sure. Learning outcome. To recognize the different types of assessment. Second, to create an objective quiz with using a digital tool.
Thank you. All right, guys, assessment. Oh, assessment. Why? Assessment is a super important part of the teaching, the learning and teaching process. Why do you think it's important to assess our students? Why assessing them? You can tell me some ideas in the chat or with your microphone.
I think it's very important because through this action we can get better. We can recognize our mistakes and overcome those mistakes.
That's true. Thank you. If we don't do it, we don't know what we are doing right or what we're doing wrong, right? If we don't assess our students, or we can also assess ourselves, right? Self-assessment, right? Yvonne says to see if they are developing their skills, of course. Assessment has many advantages. And here we have 6 advantages. And I would like you to help me read. Carlos can read 1, 2, 3. And is there any other student that wants to read, please? 4, 5, and 6? Any other student who wants to turn on the microphone? Any volunteer?
I can do it.
Oh, okay. Me. Oh, I think it was Yvonne. It was Yvonne first, I think. Yes? Or Yvonne?
Yes, it was me.
Okay, Yvonne first and Patricia the next, okay? Thank you. So let's listen to Carlitos first.
Okay. Advantages. Number 1, without assessment, there is no reliable means of knowing how effective a teaching sequence has been. 2, assessment provides a form of feedback both for learners and teachers. 3, assessment has a useful washback effect. If learners know they are going to be assessed on their English learning, they may take learning more seriously.
Thank you.
Assessment motivates learners to review in preparation for a test. It also provides an excuse for further post-test review when, for example, the teacher goes over the answers in class. Assessment can be seen as part of the recycling of language generally.
Thank you, guys. All right. So as you told me before, if we don't assess, we don't have that reliable means of knowing how effective a teaching sequence has been, right? And it has all of these advantages. We have some feedback, the washback effect. We're going to check this in some minutes. It is motivating. And with when we assess, for example, in an exam, we can review. And also when we assess in an exam, we can recycle some language. But what is assessment? Well, here we have the definition of assessment according to these writers. And they say that assessment is a process, right? It's a process of observing evidence. We can observe this evidence with exams, with quizzes, in class, with questions and answers from our students, observe this evidence when they participate. We observe this evidence in different forms. This evidence is from performance, and after observing, we interpret, right? So we just don't observe and do nothing. We have to interpret that evidence. And after we interpret that evidence, we reach conclusions. For example, when students solve an exam, right? And we check. That checking, when you read and you check, you are interpreting the evidence. The evidence is the exam. And for example, if you see that most of your students fail the exam, or most of your students pass the exam, you reach conclusions. If the answers or the evidence or results are positive or negative, you reach conclusions about what individuals know and can do. Because when students solve an exam, they are showing what they can do, what they have learned. So you reach conclusions. Maybe you say, oh, great, most of my students answered very well. Or you can say, it seems that my students are not really getting the past simple, lots of mistakes, especially in question forms. Most of them have this wrong, the same question. So there, after you conclude something, what do? You make decisions based on those conclusions. So you make decisions, okay, something is here, something is missing here, students have to improve this part, I have to improve this part, so you make decisions, right? Let's review next class, maybe some escape room activity, some game. But assessment is a process, and this happens all the time when we are teaching, right? All the time we're observing, we're reaching conclusions, and we're making decisions. Now, the term assessment is broad. We have different kinds. And now let's talk about these kinds. First, we have this informal assessment that you do in class, like, for example, hey guys, today we're going to recycle the vocabulary from last class. Let's tell me the list of the words that you remember, or you show them pictures, right? It's just something informal, but you're observing. Ah, my students remember, great. Or peer testing, you can ask your students to work in pairs or to work in groups and test each other, right? You can give them some prompts and they can work on that. We also have the formal assessment. And this is what the students don't like that much, because this formal assessment is usually summative, right? With a score, with A, B, C at school, or with numbers, right? From 0 to 20 in institutes or universities. And examples of formal assessment, we have diagnostic tests. These are normally at the beginning of the class, beginning of the course. The name says diagnostic because you want to diagnose your students. You want to know what they know, how they come to your class, the knowledge they have. We have some formative tests like quizzes. In Kahoot, for example, you can use Kahoot, you can use quizzes, you can use Google Forms, you can use Socrative, right? Formative assessment is not usually with a number, or it's not with a letter A, B, or C. It's not usually part of a student's summative grades at the end. Formative assessment is usually for the teacher to know where the students are, right? With a quiz or Kahoot, you discover, you find some evidence. Oh, my students don't remember this. I have to practice this more, right? Okay, or you say, yes, my students remember the first conditional, but they don't remember the second conditional. And finally, we have the summative tests. Whoa. Well, summative tests are the usual and most popular tests that are part of our teaching process at schools, at institutions too, like university. An example is a midterm exam and the final exam. And we have the final exam, the midterm exams, and maybe there are other exams too that teachers grade. And these exams are part of the students' grades at the end. And sometimes students don't like that, right? Because the no exam, no summative exam, no. But well, they are part of our teaching process. But guys, how can we design exams? Who designs the exams in your institution? You or someone else? Or you receive the exams already designed? Tell me, guys. Who designs the exams? Who makes the exams in your institution? You or, because in some schools, for example, there is a team that makes exams and you just receive it. In your case, guys. Hi, Catherine. Good evening.
Well, this, in my case, well, not now, but years ago, I prepared my own exams.
Okay. And now who does it?
Well, I'm not working at school. That's why
Okay.
for exams.
All right, so I understand. Well, in that case, you don't do it anymore, right? No more school. Catherine says, I design my exams. Yes, well, at schools, normally teachers are the ones that design exams. And you know, guys, that when we design exams, we have to follow 5 principles. Maybe you didn't know it, but maybe you were already doing it, but you didn't know the names of the principles. Guys, designing exams is not an easy thing to do. It's hard. You have to follow 5 principles in order to have really good exams. And I'm going to share with you, right? Wait, it's not here. Find the principles here. And then I go back to that one. I'm going to tell you the 5 principles for assessment. When you design your exams, you have to keep these 5 in mind all the time, right? And Patricia, can you help me read, please? Patricia wanted to read before, so she can read now. Patricia? Oh no, she's not here anymore. Oh, there you go. Yes, Patricia Mantilla.
Oh, like, I don't know the pronunciation, validity?
Yeah, validity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reliability?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Practicality? Practicality?
Mm-hmm.
Watchback?
Yep.
And authenticity.
Yes. Thank you, Patricia. All right, guys. So when we make exams, we have to follow these 5 principles. Why? Because as I said before, designing exam is not something like, for example, I'm going to show you. No, an exam could be like this. The teacher says, write down these words. And it's like a dictation. No? The student says, confident. Number 1, everybody write confident. Everybody writes confident. Number 2, independent. Okay, they write independent. Number 3, expectant. Okay, they write. Well, this kind of exam, maybe for dictation, maybe for some kind of listening and pronunciation, but it's not a very good idea, right? To create this kind of exam. What about number 2? It says, write the English word that means this. So you give the student the definition and the student writes the word, right? You give the definition and the student writes the word. You give the definition and the student writes the word. Okay, well, it's a little better than the first one, but there's still something missing here. What about number 3? Choose the best word to complete each sentence. Well, here we have a complete sentence. We have options, right? Choices. Okay, so here in these 3 kinds of tests, first, there isn't context. Except maybe for this one, that there is some context, right? There's some context. Now, this test, maybe one of the tests focuses on spelling, maybe this one, just spelling, no more. Meaning, this one is just for meaning, and this one for collocations. So, how exactly we have to design exams? The first thing that Patricia read is validity. Your exam needs to be valid, guys. And when an exam is valid, here I have the information. Carlos, please, could you read?
Yes. Well, in number 1, measure only what it claims to measure. 2, not measure anything else. 3, rely as much as possible on empirical evidence. That means capable of being verified or disproved by observation. Number 4, involve performance that samples the test criterion. Number 5, offer meaningful and useful information about a test taker's ability. And number 6, be supported by a theoretical rationale.
Thank you, Carlito. So, in our case, guys, we are English teachers. The test is valid if it measures what it claims to measure. What does that mean? If, for example, you tell your students, guys, this exam is about Unit 1 and Unit 2, the exam has to have only questions about Unit 1 and Unit 2. Anything else. If you insert or include some questions maybe from Unit 3, from Unit 4, I don't know, things that you didn't teach in class, and it's in your exam, that makes your exam invalid because you are not measuring what you claimed to measure. If you tell your students, okay, we have exam on the past simple and the present simple, and then you include a question of, I don't know, continuous. But teacher, you told us this. The students can complain and they are going to be right because you said one thing and in the exam you included something else, right? So the exam is only valid if it measures only what it claims to measure, nothing else, right? That is validity. That makes your exam valid. Is that right? Okay, clear? Show me a reaction, please.
Yes,
Yep.
it's clear.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. When is your exam reliable? The second principle is called reliability. Reliability is a noun, right? The adjective is reliable. When is an exam reliable? Let's read. Yvonne, could you help me read this, please?
Sure I can. It is consistent in its conditions across 2 or more administrations. It gives clear directions for scoring or evaluation. It has uniform rubrics for scoring or evaluation. It tends itself to consistent application of those rubrics by the rater. It contains items or tasks that are unambiguous to test takers.
Thank you. So guys, what does this mean? For example, you imagine your students do an exam and then the teacher, Carlos, is going to check the exam. And for Carlos, this student has 16 points. But then teacher Yvonne checks the exam, but for Yvonne, it's not 16, it's 20. And then teacher Maria checks the exam, and for teacher Maria is 14. When this happens, when different teachers check the same exam, and each teacher has a different opinion, a different score, something is wrong in that exam. This is showing that the exam is not consistent. The exam is not reliable. For an exam to be reliable, it has to be consistent. It means that if different teachers check the exam, all the teachers will have the same results. Yes, all the teachers will have the same opinion because the exam is reliable, it's clear. And if it's, for example, writing rubrics, right? The exam has clear rubrics to evaluate that writing. Now, the instructions in the exam are clear. You cannot have a test with ambiguity, right? That one student understands this and then another student understands something different. Or students really don't understand your instructions. Instructions are ambiguous. So if your instructions are ambiguous, if different teachers check the exam and there are different results, if there are no rubrics, no clear rubrics, this exam is not reliable. So it means your exam, it's not a good exam. The student can complain and yeah, it would be acceptable, right? Because your exam is ambiguous, because your exam is not reliable. That's the second principle, guys. When we do exams, it has to be valid and it has to be reliable. Is that clear?
Reliable.
Yes. Clear?
Yes, Miss.
Oh,
Miss.
perfect. The next one, the next principle is practicality. Your exam, what is the adjective for practicality?
Practical.
Practical, right? The exam has to be practical. This is for Patricia. Patricia, could you read? Patricia.
Practicality refers to the logistical, practical, and administrative issues involved in the process of constructing, administering, and rating an assessment instrument.
Thank you. So guys, practicality is about the logistical part of the exam. If the exam is on paper, on paper for students, the exam has to be easy to administer and easy to check. For example, imagine you create an exam and the exam has like 5 pages, both sides. That's not a very practical exam, right? It's too many pages for an English exam. Or imagine that when the teacher is checking the exam, question 1 is worth 1 point. Question 2, 1.5. The next exercise is 0.5 and the other one is 0.25. So, oh my God, what's that? The exam has different points, has decimals, 0.5, 1.75. Is that practical for the teacher to check? It's not practical. It's not practical for the student either, right? And for example, in the past, you know, the Cambridge examinations, international examinations, right? Now a Cambridge international examination takes about 4 hours. It's very long. But in the past, if you wanted to have your Cambridge international exam, yes, to show that you have a good English level, it took days and it took like 10 hours. It was too long, right? Too much time. So this makes the exam not practical or impractical, right? The opposite. So practicality has to be with the logistics and how easy or how fast it is to administer and to check, right?
Please, in this part or in this principle, it has to be, for example, the kind of letter and the type of letter, the size of letters, because
Oh,
sometimes
yes,
it's
the
not so
format.
clear. No, it's not so clear
Yeah.
The words, no?
Exactly, of course. Of course, the format of the exam. The exam has to be practical and it has to be clear, because if it's not clear, it's also unreliable. Right? It's also affecting this principle, reliability. Thank you. So guys, this is about practicality, but we have two more principles. The next one is washback. What is it? Carlitos, please, could you read?
Yes. Washback is used to refer to the influence that a test has on teaching and learning. Number two, if a test encourages learning and teaching, or if it provides opportunities for students and teachers to enhance the learning and teaching process, it is affecting language acquisition and instruction positively. Number three, if the test causes too much anxiety for the students, teachers, and parents, the washback may be deemed as detrimental.
Thank you. So guys, the washback effect is the influence. Yvonne is making a comment. Years ago, C1 exam applicants had to approve each skills. Oh, yes. Yes, Yvonne, now it's more practical. When you create an exam, guys, what is the influence, the underlying influence of an exam on students, right? An exam, the idea of an exam is, as we talked before, it has to be positive. Students have to see exams like, oh, they're going to learn from these exams. Is that like, it's a kind of recycling the language. It's like, I want to know where I am with my exam. So the idea is that the exam has to enhance learning, no cause anxiety to students. So for example, if you make an exam that is too long or too hard, yes, that is detrimental. I mean, sometimes you say, my students behaved badly. They didn't do their homework. Okay, I'm going to take revenge. The exam is going to be hard. I think you do a hard exam, like revenge for your students. Your students receive the exam and they fail, right? Most of them fail. So we shouldn't do that, right? We shouldn't do these exams to like have our students like being anxious or make them fail. The idea of exams or assessment is to enhance the learning and teaching process, to improve learning language acquisition and instruction positively, right? Positively. Exams are not punishments. Finally, last but not least, authenticity. Authenticity. What is the adjective for authenticity?
Authentic.
Authentic.
Yes. Authentic. Yes. We just eliminate the ET in all of them. So when exam has this, now Yvonne has to read.
Sure. It has language that is as natural as possible. It contains items that are contextualized rather than isolated. It includes topics that are meaningful, relevant, and interesting. It provides thematic organization to items such as through a storyline or an episode. It offers tasks similar to real-world tasks.
Thank you. Well, guys, authenticity comes from authentic. And authentic means that our questions, our tasks have to be first, natural, and second, contextualized. Context is super important, super important in exams. When we teach vocabulary and especially grammar needs to be contextualized, needs to be part of something, right? Part of a story. It cannot be like flying or floating around. And if we want to include, I don't know, some reading maybe, or maybe one of students to write, it has to be meaningful, right? Simulate real world tasks. So that is the fifth principle. Our exams need to be authentic. So you now see, guys, creating an exam is not that easy. That's why in some institutions, there is a team specialized at making exams, right? Because they pass for different people, they proofread the exam and they proofread again because they have to be valid, reliable, practical, positive washback, and authentic.
Teacher,
Yes,
a question.
yes, honey.
How can I say in Spanish, flashback? The
Oh,
meaning?
in Spanish, I don't think there is a exact equivalent in Spanish, honey, but influence, we can say it, like the influence. We can use that word.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. So now we're going to see some kind of examples of some typical questions we can use for exams, the multiple choice questions. Super famous, right? Everybody knows this around the world. And these kind of questions, for example, is really reliable because it's A, B, C, D, right? Only one letter is the correct answer. So if many teachers check, all the teachers will have the same results, right? Because they are really, really reliable. Also, they are very practical, very, very practical. But they're not so easy to make either, right? They have some advantages and also some disadvantages. Please, Carlitos, could you read the advantages?
Yes. Well, they are very reliable. The second, they are quick and easy to mark. Next, MCQS.
Oh, this is multiple choice question.
Okay, multiple choice questions can be used to assess knowledge of various levels from beginning to advanced. And the last, students from most parts of the world are familiar with that format.
Right. So multiple choice has many advantages, but some disadvantages too. Patricia, could you read the disadvantages? Patricia, where are you? Patricia, oh, I think Patricia's not here. So maybe Yvonne? Yvonne? Oh no, don't tell me that Yvonne left too. Okay, there you go. Oh, Diana. Thank you, Diana.
Thank you.
Yes, of course.
Learners may choose by a process of elimination. They test recognition only, not the ability to produce a word. They are not as easy to design as they appear. On what basis are the distractors chosen?
Thank
Do
you.
you have more?
Thank you,
You're
Diana.
welcome. Thank you.
So in multiple choice, we usually have A, B, C, D, right? But sometimes the students choose like, yeah, that one. They don't really choose because they know. Or they choose because they just eliminate, and they choose any. And maybe the one that they chose is right. They have like 30% of probability. So,
Maybe they play the eeny, meeny, miny, moe.
yeah. Yeah, I was trying to remember that one, but can you repeat it, please? I like it. Can you repeat it? Carlitos, can you repeat the eeny, meeny? Carlitos.
That was
Oh.
mini, miny, mo.
Sorry. I didn't open my mic. My mic is, it is eeny, meeny, miny, moe, catch a tiger by its toe. If it hollers, let it go, eeny, meeny, miny, moe.
Wow, bravo! Oh, I didn't know the full chant. Great. I want to search it. I want to learn it too. Like, I want to memorize it. But yeah, this is, in other words, process of elimination, right? And this kind of test is mostly for receptive knowledge, not for productive knowledge. And if you create this kind of questions, how do you create the distractors? Because only one answer is right. So how do you create the other ones? On what basis? On what concept? Because the distractors cannot be so easy, but not so difficult, right? So, so it's not that easy to make as it seems. Here we have some examples. Other examples. There are lots of questions and more examples. And the other format that we use is fill in the gaps. Fill in the gaps has also some positives, but some negatives as well. Advantages. Carlos, please.
Okay. It assesses a student's production of vocabulary. It requires students to read a sentence and then write in the correct or best response. The next, sentence completion items encourage students to learn and know the tested word rather than just recognize it. And the last one, sentence completion items are easy to construct.
Thank you. Disadvantages, Diana. Could you read, please? Diana Villa. Or Yvonne Velez.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
These items require students to come up with the answer rather than just recognize it. Responding to these items may take the student longer. Consequently, this could reduce the possible number of items on a test. With these items, you have to take into consideration that the students will come up with words that are feasible, correct, but not the ones you are trying to test. You might need to write the first letter of the word in.
Thank you. All right, this fill in the gaps is a bit more productive than the previous one because here students have to write the word, right? Has to write it. These fill in the gaps could be usually for vocabulary or for some grammar too, right? For some, maybe some prepositions, etc. Because this takes longer because the students have to complete, we have to reduce the number of these exercises, right? We have to balance some multiple choice, some fill in the gaps, but not the same quantity because these take longer than the other, right? This is something, yes.
Sorry, I think it is more difficult if you don't write the possibilities, because some, well,
yeah, of course.
some exams have, they have the possibilities, so the students have to just to recognize, to choose one of the answers and write the words. And that's that will be multiple choice. I think that
yeah, when it's open. Yeah, when it's open, it's really hard. Thank you. Yeah, it's very difficult when it's open. And this fill in the gaps, it's called close, no? Open, close. Right, you're right, you're right. But it happens that sometimes when you have this open, close, especially at schools, the student writes a word, but it's not the word that you intended the student to write. But this is still correct. The sentence is still correct. But you may say, no, but this is not a word that we learned in class. But teacher, that word is correct. It makes sense, right? Yeah, but that's not a word I taught you. So to avoid this, the instructions have to be very clear. No, the instructions have to say, use the words we studied in class. Because if you don't put that in instructions, then if the student writes a word that it still makes sense, point for the student because you didn't specify that. You can say, yeah, but it's obvious. Remember that exams have to be clear, reliable 100%. Yes, Yvonne, tell me, honey.
Yes, teacher, but there is something also regarding these blank spaces because according to the word that comes before or after, and if they are they go along with the preposition, there must be only one option.
Oh,
It
that
all
is when
depends,
it's,
right?
for example, collocations or when it's phrasal verbs. But
Yes.
sometimes when you are testing, well, in word, when we talk about words, we have two different groups. We have function words and we have content words. When you test function words, as you said, when you have cues, right? You have the clues, the preposition, the word that comes before and yeah. These are function words. So when you test function words, it's close. I mean, there are no other possibilities. For example, if you write something, I am interested, space, sports, the only possibility for interested is in, right? There are no more because in is a function word. Function words are close. But we have other words that are content words. And content words are nouns, adjectives, verbs, right? So content words are open. Yes, they are very open. They are infinite. And they are the quantity of content words is always growing. New content words are added every year to the vocabulary of students. Function words are closed. No new function words are added. The last one was in the 19th century, many years ago, right? The last function word. So if you want to test a content word, there might be a possibility of ambiguity. It has happened. It really depends how you design your exam. If you want to test, for example, an adjective, right? If, for example, you want to test the adjective clever, I don't know, but the student writes smart. It's not really the same, but maybe in your sentence makes sense. Huh? There we might have some kind of difficulty in this case, yes, for content words, not for function words. Does that answer your question, Yvonne?
Yes, teacher, thank you.
Thank you for the question. Well, as Carlito said, we call them this kind of fill in the blanks without options. This is called close. Yes, in the English exam world, we have close tests and we have different kinds. For example, this one that we have a space every 7th, 8th, or 9th word. And here the ability to complete the gaps depends on understanding the context. We have this kind of close, it's a variant, right? Where we write the first letter, no? The first letter. And here we have specific words that are chosen are deleted, no? Specific words that we want to test, we delete them and we write a letter. And we have this other that it's called a C-test. In a C-test, the second half of every second word is deleted as shown, right? Like this one. So researchers have shown that success at doing C-tests correlate with success at other kinds of vocabulary tests. And this one this kind is, you may recognize if you have done any Cambridge test before, FCE, CAE, or CPE, I don't know, guys. This kind of, how do you call this kind of question, the last one? You recognize it? For example, here says compose. On one occasion, the opera was conducted by the compose. No.
This here, we have to use the right word. It means could be an adverb, could be.
Yes.
Yeah.
You call it keyword transformation.
Transformation.
Keyword transformation. You transform the word. For example, what's the answer here in number 1?
Composer.
Compositor.
Composer.
A composer, yes, composer, sorry.
No worries, no worries. Composer it's not compose, not the verb, but the noun. So here the student has to transform the word. That's why the name of this exercise is keyword transformation. You fill in the gap, but you have to transform the word. What about number 2? Place. Have you seen my keys? I seem to have them.
Misplaced them.
Very good,
Yes.
Yvonne. Misplaced them. So here we have to use a prefix and a suffix. Misplaced, prefix and suffix. So this kind of test, these kind of questions, for example, will take longer to answer for a student, right? Example, you have to think, oh, how can I transform this word? So you have to go through all your mental lexicon and search for the word, and it has to be correct in the context. This is a bit harder. And, well, other kinds of assessment is when we assess reading. When we have reading, we usually have multiple choice too. Writing, oh, well, guys, writing is hard to test. Writing is one of the, writing and speaking, because it's productive. Now, when it's kind of receptive, it's kind of easier, but when it's productive, like when you're testing speaking or writing, you cannot do this with multiple choice or filling the gaps that much. You need, what do you need when you test writing? You need this. What's the name of this? Remember?
Rubric.
Yes, we need rubrics. Yes, and our rubrics have to be very, very specific, right? And also we have to be careful with instructions when it's writing. Yes, the students hate this because it's productive. For example, if in your instruction, you say, okay, write a sentence with the verb sleep, for example, that's your instruction. Write a sentence with the verb sleep. Okay. Then your student says, oh, okay. And a student says, Tony slept. Another student says, Tony slept. Tony slept for 10 hours. Tony was so tired that he slept for 10 hours. Tony was so tired that he slept for 10 hours. Which of these sentences you think is correct? If you ask in your checking exam. All of them? Are you sure?
Let me see.
The first one.
Okay.
Is this?
Anna slept.
This is not correct. This is wrong.
This is wrong.
Yes. The other ones are actually correct. But what happens if this student, Tony slept, you give them a point, 1 point because it's correct. And this also 1 point because it's also correct. And this. So.
That's why, Miss, I think it's important to assign the total points for each question.
Yeah, but imagine that the sentence is worth only 1 point. And you put here for this student, 1 point, and for this student, 0.5, for example. And the student says, teacher, why I have 0.5 and my classmate has 1 point, if my sentence is correct? What do you say?
I believe as you said.
Sorry? Ivoncita, yes, go ahead.
Sorry. Teacher, as you were stating before, it all depends on the instructions, the level of the students, what they have done, and also as one of my colleagues mentioned, the rubrics, because how, if let's say, if I have, let's say, if my students are only from second grade, or they're just beginning. I don't believe they are going to be able to write these kind of sentences, number 4 and 5. I don't believe so. And it all depends on that. And if it's the case, because could be the case, I don't think it would be fair to give the same rate to these 2 sentences.
It wouldn't be fair. That's right. Thank you, Yvonne, for your comment. You're totally right. It depends on the student's level, and it depends on the instructions, as you said. It happens that sometimes, well, at schools, maybe no, but for example, when you are in an institute, students sometimes they come to your class with different levels, with different backgrounds. So maybe a student writes this and another writes this. But in your instructions, you don't really mention how many words the sentence should have, right? This question, guys, is a question of an international exam that is called TOEIC exam, which is a previous of TOEFL. You know, TOEFL, before TOEFL is TOEIC.
Yeah.
There is a question that asks you to write sentence with a word, but they tell you your sentence must have 10 words and you cannot change the word given, for example. And now I know that I cannot change the verb or the word that they give me, and I must have 10 words, right? So I'm saying this because it's really important to have clear instructions, right? Your instructions is what give reliability to your tests. We shouldn't think that it's obvious. Yes, a test needs to be clear. So ambiguity, completely eliminate, right? That's the idea of this exercise. And here, for example, in number 2, well, this is just a sentence, but here is a paragraph. And you're asking, well, you're giving the number, 100 words, including at least 6 of these words. And they're saying, yes, you can change the word form. So these instructions are clear, right? What do you think?
Yes, it's more clear.
Yes. These kind of instructions, for example, make the exam reliable. And apart, you have the rubric. You have the rubric, right? So these are some examples of how to avoid, for example, an exam that is not reliable. And well, now going to the tools, guys, going to the tools. What tools do you have to make quizzes? Multiple choice quizzes, for example. Socrative, yes. Another?
Also, Genially.
Genially. Okay, Genially has for multiple choice now, right? Kahoot?
Google Forms.
Yeah. Patricia, sorry?
Google Forms.
Google Forms, right, Google Forms, quizzes. But we are going to check this one, Socrative, today, right? Socrative is a tool, live worksheets. Yes, Aurora, live worksheets, of course. And well, with live worksheets, you can do a lot of tests with different kinds of interaction. I really like Socrative. It's a tool. It's not like Kahoot because Kahoot is more gamified. It's more like for a game. Socrative is like a bit more serious. And you have like 3 types of questions that you can ask. I like to use Socrative for formative tests, mostly for formative tests. I don't use it for summative tests. Yes, I use it in my classes with my students for formative. When I want to know where they are, when I want to know if they learned last class, like to recycle, to review, I use Socrative. And Socrative is an objective exam. Objective means that you have options, right? A, B, C, D, and only one word can be the answer in the sentence. Some advantages is that you can create the free account. You can have 62 quizzes. One room, only one room, because you have to create rooms inside Socrative. You can have 50 students per activity, a 30-day report history, and it's automatic. Advantages of the free account. But guys, you know that these tools, in the end, they are businesses, right? They are businesses and they have to make profits. So the disadvantages is that many features are only available in pro versions, the ones that we have to pay. That's disadvantages. Every app has that characteristic. So let's do this, all right? I want to show you first my Socrative account. This is my account. I have here in my library all the exams I have used with my students. As you can see, I use it mainly for formative assessment. Formative assessment, and I use it normally at the beginning of each class to remember the last class. I'm going to share one exam with you. Let's pretend that you are my student and you are going to solve this quiz. Okay, it's a quiz of Unit 11. I'm going to share with you this one. So when you have a quiz, this is already done, right? It's already done. English 2, Unit 11. So I already created this quiz. I'm going to launch it. So what do I want to launch? I want to launch a quiz because I want to test my students' knowledge. So I'm going to launch it, which, look, I can see here all the quizzes I have created, but I want this one, 11. Now, when you launch a quiz, you have 3 options. You can have instant feedback, open navigation, or teacher paced. The difference here, you can read the differences. Instant feedback is the one that I used. That students are the ones that click on the next question, next question, next question. And I can see, I can monitor your answers on a table. Open navigation is students can answer any question in any order. They can jump from this question to the other, right? And I can still see the progress. And teacher pace is that the teacher controls the flow of questions. So I have to click on next so that you can see the next. I like this one, the first one. And here we have some settings. I'm going to require names. I'm going to shuffle the questions, shuffle the answers, and I'm going to show you your final score. Launch. All right. My test is ready. Now I'm going to invite my students. To invite the students, you can show this QR or you can share this link. Students can join. I'm going to share the link with you, right? In the chat. It always happens the same to me. Carlitos, could you please share the link in the chat? I have sent it to you as a private message.
Okay, okay.
Because your name is there.
Let me see.
Please, in the chat. For everyone, please. So guys, the link gosocrative.com is a generic link for all the quizzes that you launch. Okay, for all of them.
Okay, it's done.
There you go. Thank you. So when you click on that link, they will require the room name. What teacher, what is the room name? The room name is my name. That one too, Carlitos, please. The room name, please. When you click on that link, gosocrative.com, you click there and they will require the room name. What is the room name? The name of the teacher's name, okay? This is the room name. So you have to write it like that, Guisella, because if you don't write it like that, you will go to another room.
Miss, I think it's not possible to enter to the link.
It's not possible to join the link?
No, it doesn't appear the time.
Okay, I will open it here. Okay? I will open it. Go Socrative.com.
Yeah, you copy. If you paste the link on Google.
Okay, but you can type it too. This is what you should see. I'm gonna pass you this link again, okay?
I scanned with my cell phone, teacher.
Yeah, it worked?
Yeah.
Did you enter your name too? Let's see. Oh, yes. Oh, wait. I'm gonna re-enter. I have two students, Frida and Patricia, but don't do the test yet, okay? Wait, please, wait for everyone to join. Oh, someone wrote my name as your name. Remember that the room name is my name. Catherine, great. The room name, this room name, that is my name. Just that. Okay, the room name is my name. I have 4. Someone enter here with my name. I don't know. Who is it? Maybe it's Carlos. Okay, I have Oscar. No, is that you? Have you entered yet?
Just I'm typing your name.
Okay. As you can see, when the students join your quiz, you can see their names here. For example, I can see Frida, Catherine, Oscar, and Patricia. They already joined my quiz. Now, Carlos, great. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 students and 1 student that I don't know who is it, but it's there.
Now I'm in the page.
Yes, now you are. You see. The secret is to write the room name correctly. The room name has to be correct. That's the secret. And you enter. That's easy. All right, guys. Can you start, please, answering the questions? Can you start, please? When you answer the questions, I will see your answers here in my table. This is my table of answers. Please, you have 5 minutes. 5 minutes to answer the questions. It's an English test that oh, Ivoncita, you have to click on this link. And please, Yvonne, the room name is my name. That is what you have to do well, please. The room name. If you don't write the room name correctly here, it says room name. If you don't write the room name correctly, you won't enter. All right? Okay, I see, for example, you see, I can see your answers. This is a test from English 2 course that I did for my students. All right. So don't worry if you answer wrong. Don't worry. We're just practicing here. You have now 7. Oh, okay, Yvonne, you could enter. Great. You can start. You can start. Okay, you have 2 more minutes. More minutes. Let's see how you're doing. Oh, I can also see the percentage. For example, I see that Carlos has 10%, Frida has 20%, Catherine 30%, Kathy 10%, 10%. I can see the percentage too. So you have some more minutes. Some more minutes to answer. Okay, I'm gonna check again. 40%, Frida's in 40% already. 40% correct answers. Whoa, go Frida, go. So we have 2 more minutes. Now, when your students are doing the test, you can pause the test or the quiz when you want, and you can finish it also when you want. You can tell them, hey guys, you have 10 minutes and 10 minutes and you finish, right? You finish the quiz and it finishes for everyone. Or you can pause it too. Here you have these 2 options. You can hide the students' names. You don't want them to feel maybe embarrassed. You can hide the students' names. Or you can show the names and hide the responses, or you can also hide the results, right? You can do this. Now, remember that I put in my option that it's going to be a random, right? So not everyone has the same order in the questions, right? You have the same questions, but in different order. So you don't know which one is the question that your classmate is answering. Oscar finished. Oh, Skeeter, but you got 10%. Ooh. To pass this quiz, you need minimum 60%. 60% is the minimum to pass. Oh, Frida has 60% already. Yay. Okay, guys, 3 more minutes, 8:20, and I finish the quiz, the activity, all right? And we will see the answers. We will see the answers after, in 3 minutes. Come on, come on. You can do it. You can do it. Oh my God, Frida has 70% already. Wow, that's awesome. Awesome, awesome. So let's see. Oh, now you have 2 minutes, 2 minutes, and I finish the activity. 2 minutes and I finish the activity. Frida finished with 80%. Bravo. Go, go, Frida, go. Excellent. Miss Frida. Oh, very she is. All right, we have 2 minutes, guys, to finish. 1 minute now, 1 minute. Carlita's finished too with 60%. Good. Excellent. 50%, Catherine. Great. So 1 minute, and we finish, guys. I'm gonna finish the activity in a minute. I'm gonna finish at 8:20, all right? So to go to the next part. So let's see if other student has finished. Sandra finished with 80%. Bravo. Patricia with 40%. All right, guys, I'm going to finish this quiz right now for everyone. Yeah, it's 8:20. So look, guys, when I want the quiz to finish, I'm gonna click here, finish activity. Are you sure? Yes, finish activity. Yes, finish. Ta-da! All right. So here you can see the percentage your students got. And now you can check with your students. You can click, look, back to the results table here. Click on number 1. What is the answer? Remember, you can add pictures to your quiz. What's the weather like in your town now? Is it A, B, C, or D?
B, this case.
Okay, it's B, right? And if I click show results, everybody clicked on B. So my students know this word, you know, you can hear. Remember when we assess if it's formative or summative, we always, when we assess, what do we do?
Show the results.
Yes, we see the evidence, we interpret it, and we reach conclusions, right? Next one. Oh, here it was to complete, and here you have the picture. The answer is foggy. Yes, foggy, 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 foggy. Good. Here, what about here? Sunny, okay, you could,
Warm.
everybody answered warm, right? Yeah,
cool.
yes, you give me feedback.
Cool.
Or cool, okay. Well, the sun looks like it's warm because of the sun, but yeah, it's okay. Here, how do you call? This is some grammar, right? Some grammar. And this is relative clauses, as you can see. So to complete this relative clause, we use who or that. But everybody put who.
This is case who.
Who or that. Who is the
Or
correct
that.
clause. Or that, but who is correct. Good. Do you remember the part? And here it's talking about place, so you use where. Yes, excellent. Where. 8 students, 8 out of 9 out of 10 answered correctly. Here, oh, this is vocabulary. It's the person that reports the weather, is the weatherman.
It was difficult for me. I didn't.
But that one has different options.
It was waterman.
That's not the only one.
It's a difficult word. I know. It's a difficult word. But remember that I use this quiz because we practice that with my students.
Yeah, of course.
The previous class. So don't worry. Don't worry. It's a difficult word and it's not a very common word, right? But that was part of the class. So that's why it's the weatherman. This is the word that the book presented, the weatherman. Here again, we have, what is it? Do you see? Yes. This is
either that or which, right?
You see that when it's grammar, like as I said before, function word is close. You have that or you have which, no more options. But here, for example, is a content word. So you can say teacher, could be weatherman, could be weather reporter, could be the meteorologist, right? Because it's open. That's why I said before, we have to be careful with content words, especially if your test is summative, if it's part of a final exam or part of a midterm exam. In this case, this is a formative test. What about 8? That would be, what's the correct answer, right? So we have letter C. Letter C. 57% of students clicked on letter C, correct. 9 is, oh, this is even harder. The anchorman is the answer. Yes, it's hard. No, I know this word is harder, but someone answered well. The anchorman, who is it? Yvonne, great, you knew it. But it's a difficult word. It's not very common. It's not very common. And the last one, which sentence is correct? And the answer is B. B is correct. All right, guys. So with this formative quiz, you can reach conclusions, give feedback. One teacher said that feedback, yes, to your students. You recycle, you practice, but it's formative, right? It's not part of the student's evaluation, but you can learn from these answers, what your students need to practice more, for example, right? As you can see, most students, maybe number 3 was a difficult one, number 4, and well, nobody remembered number 6. Nobody remember number 9. No, let's imagine, imagine that you are my students and we study this in class. So with these results, you can reach some conclusions. And also you can export the results to an Excel. You can keep it on Excel. If you want to, you can report. You can download as Excel or PDF. See? So it's a very good tool, guys. I recommend you use it. Now, you told me that you have your account, right? So I'm gonna leave. I wanna sign out. Oh, wait, I haven't. Well, yeah, what, yes. I wanna sign out. Are you sure you want to sign out? Yes. When you have your account and you enter, yes, you enter, I wanna sign in. The first thing you have to do is to create your room. Because we have a free account, we have option only for one room. This is the only room I have. And you have to name your room. You have to give it a name, all right? In my case, I name my room Gisela, like me. But you can name your room as you want. I can change the name if I want to, right? Rename. But I want to leave it like that. So if you go to rooms, guys, you see that you have only one room as an option, right? Only one, because we have the free account. If you wanted to add other rooms, they require payment. So I use this room for all my classes because it's the only one. It's a free account. So once you have your room ready, you go to library. And here you can create a quiz. So you say, add quiz. Remember, you can create only 62 quizzes. I have 47 already, 47. But you can create 62 for free. If you want to create more, well, we have to pay. So let's create a quiz together. Add quiz. Okay, I'm going to create a blank quiz. Oh, now you see that because now everything is with AI. They also have added the generate questions with AI. We can also have copy. These are beta. They're just trying this out. Or we can import a quiz. But I want to create my quiz blank. So here, and here you write a title for your quiz. I want to put a title like it's just general English, let's say. And here you have three options. You have multiple choice, true or false, or a short answer, like the ones you did in your test, right? Like to complete. So we can start with multiple choice, the most common one. And you can let's create a question. Guys, are you with me? Or I'm talking alone. Are you with me? Hello?
Yes, miss.
Yes?
miss.
Oh, okay, great. So I want to create, when I check grammar or when I test grammar, I always like to create it in context, right? It has to be contextualized. For example, I want to practice present perfect and I want to put it like in a conversation, a short conversation. Remember to keep context, right? Context is very important to make it natural. This is a very short conversation, but it's contextualized and it's natural. You can add pictures to remember, you can add photos, but I'm not gonna do that. So there are three options and I'm gonna put did, for example, did and saw, which is wrong. Have and saw is also wrong. Have and seen is correct. And did and seen. So this is the right one.
Maybe has.
Sorry?
In order to confuse the letter B, you could write the has. As seen.
Does.
Has.
Does.
No, third person, H-A-S. In order to confuse.
Oh, like H-A-S. Where, honey?
Yeah.
In which letter? In letter D?
Letter D.
So I eliminate it. Like this?
Yeah. H-A-S.
H-A-S. Yeah. The auxiliary has. I heard DAS, D-O-E-S. Okay, great. And you can see that you can upload an image or even embed a video, but it's okay like this. I'm gonna do it simple. This is the answer. Now you can put some feedback here. Yes, if you have the time, you can explain the student, or you can write good job or something here for a student to see. Good job. Oops. And then this is question number 1. It's ready. Now I want to add another one. I want to add blank space, for example. Short answer, this one. So here, okay, let's say my cousin. Again, I continue with present perfect, right? And here we only have one option. The only option possible is has. There are no other options. So I want to eliminate the other ones. That's the other option. And I'm not going to upload an image or anything. Has. And then I can add true or false, right? I don't usually use true or false, to be honest. I don't really like to put true or false, but if you want, you can use it, right? No problem. So you can say this sentence is correct, and you can write sentence, right? You can write, I don't know, my friends has spoken Italian, I don't know, something like this. So this sentence is correct? No. And you can explain here, right? You can give an explanation.
Miss,
It's wrong. Sorry?
But in this case, as you told us, if you write this sentence is correct, you are saying yes. Maybe it's not a question. Is this sentence correct?
Okay, you can ask us a question. Thank you, honey. Thank you. It'll be yes or no, right? And you can explain it's wrong because the auxiliary, right? The auxiliary should be have, no? Because it's plural, etc. You can even bold the words like here. Okay, and you can continue adding more questions, 10, 20, as you like. But now let's say I am happy with my 3 questions. So I save and I exit. So I have my general English quiz ready, right? Now, if I want to share it with the students, remember, where do I go? Remember, when you have the quiz ready, where do you go? No, you go to here.
Lunch.
Launch, right, you launch. Now, when you launch, you have all of these options, but we have created a quiz, so we're going to launch a quiz, right? This space race is like a game. Yeah, if you can try it, guys. I recommend you one day you sit and you explore this tool. It's like a game. It's like a competition. It's interesting, but I prefer the quiz. And well, an exit ticket is to finish the class, and you want your students to answer you some questions. The thing about this exit ticket is that it's already set. It has 2 questions and you cannot change those questions. That's the bad thing about the exit ticket. That is already set. You cannot edit this exit ticket. And also, if you just want to create 1 question for your class very quickly, you can create a question here. It's a quick question, very fast, not a quiz, not just one, and that's it. So you have all these options, but in our case, it's a quiz. Okay, so you click on quiz, and where do you go here? Remember? What is next?
General English.
Yes, you click on the one that you want to launch. And we have here 3 options. Which one? You remember the one that we used?
Instant feedback.
Yes, we use instant feedback for a student. You saw it when you were doing your quiz, the one that I shared with you. You advanced to the next question, on your own, right? I didn't move anything. I didn't click anything. You advanced, right? And you check, but in order. And anything here, guys? Yes, shuffle the button.
Shuffle
Anything
question.
here? Yes, you
Shuffle
shuffle questions,
answers.
you shuffle
Shuffle the
answers,
score.
and you show final score. You shuffle everything here, and you launch. Ta-da! Okay, so once it's there, what do you have to do next? Remember?
Invite a student.
Copy the link.
Invite students, right? Send your students a link. Now remember that this link is the same link for everyone. It's the same link. When Carlitos shares his quiz, that is the link. When Yvonne shares, this is the link. When Gisela shares, this is the link. When Patricia shares, this is the link. Where is the difference? What changes?
The name.
The name of what?
The
Of
room
the
name.
room.
The room name, guys. The room name is what changes. There are no 2 room names identical, not 2 identical room names. It's impossible to create. I am the only Gisela with this room name in the world. Because if you write your room name and Socrates discovers that it exists, they ask you, please change it. That room name already exists, right? Every room name is unique. So this is the only room name with this name, right? So every time my students join my quizzes, they have to use this room name. It's unique. Yes, Yvonne?
Teacher, one question. And this Socrates is only for English? Everything is in English, or you can switch the language?
Oh, that's a very good question, actually. I have never tried switching the language, but maybe profile, maybe in profile we can change language. I've never tried to be honest, Ivoncita. Oh, but yeah, you can, look. It's possible, yeah, here. When you go to your initials, you check profile, demographics, I chose English. You can change the language here. Oh no, what does it say here? Oh no, I cannot change it. Why? Uh-oh. Oh, I cannot change it because I have an
Because
activity
it's running, because it's
active.
still open, right?
Yes, that's why. Yeah, because of this activity, but you can change it, but you can change the language. So you can use it in other courses.
Ah, that's great.
Great, yes. All right, guys, so once you invite your students join. The room name, remember, is super important because the room name is what distinguishes you from other teachers. If your room name is wrong, the students enter a wrong room name, they will go to a different quiz because it has happened to me. I'm telling you guys. Sometimes the students don't write the room name correctly and they, for example, omit letter U and they do a different test because there is another teacher in the world that has the room name Gisela, but without U. And it happens that just at the same time I'm doing my quiz with my students, this teacher in Korea, I don't know, in Spain, is doing a quiz with her students. So my student enters to a different quiz. It has happened to me, right? And my student said, Miss, I finished. I said, what? But you're not in my list. Oops. Where he was in another room name, with another teacher. So this is key, the room name. Oh, Patricia is in the quiz already. I can see her name. All right, guys. So this is the last tool we're gonna try. And your activity for this last week is about that. It's to create a quiz, right? 5 questions. It doesn't have to be a very long quiz, 5 questions. And you have to share with me the room name. All right? You don't have to share the link with me because I know the link. The link is gaussoperative.com. It's always going to be the same link. What you have to share with me is your room name, right? So you're going to create your quiz like this. You're going to click launch and you're going to share the room name with me and I will enter and I will solve your quiz. All right. Is that clear, guys?
Yes, it's okay.
Yeah, Ivancita, tell me.
Yes, teacher. I have a question. For example, if you're doing your class, right? And then I share the activity, can I at the time that my student is answering the questions, can I see it in the screen?
Of course. When you were answering your questions, I could see your answers. For example,
Okay.
Patricia is now connected. She's in my exam. Patricia, can you answer some of the questions so Yvonne can see? Look, Patricia has not answered any questions yet because I can see here question 1, 2, and 3, and they are blank. Now Frida joined. Now I have to... Sorry?
I left the room.
Oh, you left it. Oh. Oh, yes. Okay,
Pero sigue
look, Frida
apareciendo my name.
answered. Yeah, your name's still there. Maybe if I refresh, your name's gonna disappear. Oh, it's okay, honey. Frida answered. You can see Yvonne, Frida's answer. She answered number 3.
Yes, I see it. Yes.
And she clicked right because it's green. So it's a right answer. And number 2, she also answered. Okay, Osquitar, the questions and Frida answer number 1, 100%, all correct. All right, Oscar wants me to show the questions. Okay, to show the questions, have to go to the library here. Here we have the questions. You find the quiz in the library, but you cannot make any changes because your students are doing this quiz. So you cannot change anything while you have an activity that is active. Oh, Maria too, I can see. If you want, you can hide your students' names, no? So that students don't see who is answering well. Maybe they feel embarrassed. Okay, oh no, everybody is observing my answers. Okay, so you can hide the names here.
That's a good option.
Yeah, to avoid some embarrassment, yes. Or you can show the names, but not the results, right? And you can, when you want the time is up, you finish the activity, right? You finish it and you have the answers. Guys, let's go to the conclusions after. Remember your homework for this weekend, all right? This is your homework. One student has already posted the answer. What are the conclusions? Yvonne, please, could you read conclusion number 1, Carlos 2 and 3, and maybe Diana 4 and 5?
Sure, I can. Okay, testing needs to follow principles such as validity. Are you testing what you want to test? Reliability. Will the test give consistent results? Practicality. Is it easy to administer and mark? Authenticity. Is it meaningful, relevant, and interesting? Washback, does it have a positive influence on learners?
Thank you.
Number 2, testing can be informal or formal. 3, testing is one way of assessing learning outcomes, the products of learning.
You. I don't know if Diana is there or maybe Patricia.
Okay. There are different formats for testing. We can use digital tools for testing.
Right. And today we have used Socrative. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to finish this activity, all right? I'm going to finish it. Finish. And now, oh, Lydia was working. I'm sorry, Lydia. She was working and I stopped the activity. I'm so sorry. Guys, please don't forget to do this test this test now, what I'm talking, this task until this Sunday, all right? Till this Sunday at midnight, because I always check on Mondays. Monday mornings, I sit down and I start checking here. Click here and I start checking all the things you have shared with me, your links and everything. This is our last connection today. It's been a pleasure to be with you guys. It's been a pleasure to meet you. I haven't seen anyone's face. I just remember I saw one teacher who turned her camera once. Maybe you can turn your camera today, guys. See you at least once. Hi, Carlitos. It's good to see a face behind the microphone. Good to see someone there.
Yes.
Oh, Yvonne. Maybe you can even sit that, no worries. You can turn your cameras, please, for a while. I think there is a girl who wants to maybe share some information. Yes? Are you Jessica?
Hola,
Okay.
¿qué tal? Buenas noches. Buenas
Ah,
noches a todos. ¿Qué tal? Estaba escuchando atentamente ahí la clase. Qué bueno, me alegra bastante. La clase muy didáctica, muy práctica y esa es la idea, pues, de tener este tipo de cursos y también ustedes que aprendan, ¿no? Entonces, tienen los recursos ahí en el Classroom. Por favor, accedan, descarguen también las presentaciones, accedan a cada uno de los recursos que la profesora Gisela ha diseñado para ustedes, ¿no? Espero que hayan aprendido en estas 4 semanas y hayan aprovechado al máximo estas sesiones. Estoy muy contenta y agradecida también porque veo que la sesión ha sido muy didáctica y a lo largo de estas semanas ha sido así. Así es que yo la felicito, profesora Gisela, muchas gracias. Siempre encantada de tenerla, ¿no? Y bueno, hay alguna información que yo les voy a dar, pero primero vamos a hacer la captura de pantalla, a ver si los demás se animan a prender su camarita para hacer un print de sesión de
yes,
cierre.
please. Yes, guys, come on, turn your cameras.
Y arréglense
Come on.
ahí y prendan su
Don't be
cámara.
shy. Don't be shy, guys. No worries if, oh, my hair. No worries. Come on. Oh, I can see Catherine there, Patricia, Sandra. Hi, Maria, Miss
Hello.
Lulu, Abigail. I don't see Yvonne. Yvonne, come on. You've been participating the whole session. Oh, no. Catherine says my camera is wrong. Oh, no.
Recuerden que tienen la evaluación final del curso. Ya está subido en el Classroom, así es que tienen que dar la evaluación porque el curso finaliza con la evaluación. Entonces, en cualquier momento que ustedes requieran, quizás algunos ahora no van a poder solicitar el certificado, algunos pueden solicitar de acá unas semanas o el próximo mes, cuando puedan, ¿no? Y lo importante, pero es finalizar, ¿no? Entonces, se finaliza el curso con la evaluación. Así es que, por favor, la evaluación ya está en el Classroom, ya pueden darla. Yo igual ahora en el grupo de WhatsApp voy a enviar toda la información para que ustedes puedan revisar también y tienen hasta el domingo para que puedan resolver la evaluación. Ya, eso es importante. Ya, a ver quién es más. Miss Lulu creo que se ocultó la cámara.
Yeah, it's orange. Hi, Ingrid. Nice to see you. I see Ingrid there. Maria Paula.
Miss, Disculpe, bueno, si bien es cierto, podemos entrar a Classroom, pero hay muchos materiales que no se pueden descargar.
A ver, vamos
Entonces,
a... Los
Oh,
materiales que son PDF se descargan. Los materiales que
yes.
son, por ejemplo, de acceso para poder
Sí.
acceder a algún quiz, ¿no? A Socrative, ¿no? Alguna u otra plataforma que no corresponde pues a Classroom, ustedes tienen que entrar y resolver y practicar. No, ese es el propósito. Pero la presentación, ¿no? Eso sí se puede descargar, porque ustedes le pueden dar clic, abrir ventana, lo que voy a hacerlo después de que hagamos la captura. Voy a hacerlo porque le dan clic, abrir ventana nueva y ahí pueden descargar lo que es la presentación. Pero de ahí las demás plataformas, ¿no? Como los quizzes o las herramientas que ha usado la profesora Gisela, eso es para que ustedes puedan practicar y puedan aprender a diseñar, pues, ¿no? Porque algunas seguramente son gratuitas, la gran mayoría es gratuita, pueden ustedes ahí hacer su sesión de clase, ¿no? Ya creo que ahora sí. Gracias Ingrid, gracias Katherine, gracias a todas por aprender, gracias profesor Carlitos. Gracias. Ahora sí, a ver, una reacción abajito. Ya
A
está.
reaction, guys. Reaction. Where is the reaction? Oh, here. Um, reactions. Yeah. Okay.
Ya, ya está. Ya está. Ahora la voy a compartir, la vamos a publicar nuestro Facebook y también la vamos a compartir en en el grupo en el chat del WhatsApp. Muchas gracias a todos. Ahora sí voy a compartir mi pantalla para que puedan, pues, apreciar este tema de a ver, mejor voy a compartir todo. Aquí estamos. A ver, voy a entrar al Classroom para para hacerles un ejemplo. A ver, estamos aquí, TICS. Ya estamos aquí, entramos a trabajo de clase y, por ejemplo, vamos a presentación. ¿Ok? Entonces vamos a darle clic aquí. Ah, está en Genially, pero en Genially, en
Yeah,
Genially,
that's what I wanted to say. The Genially presentations are links. They cannot be downloaded as PDFs. Everything else can be downloaded as PDF except Genially, because Genially it's not a PDF, right? It's you have to click.
ok,
You have to click
y no es
on the
posible
arrow.
descargarlo en PDF, profesora, para
No,
poder
Genially
subirlo.
doesn't have that. Genially doesn't have that option. At
No, no
least
hay esa opción.
no, it doesn't have. Not in the free version. In the premium version, it has that option.
Ay, yo sí tengo,
Download.
no, yo tengo, la próxima hay que hacerlo con la cuenta de Durret entonces, porque yo sí tengo la premium.
Oh, really?
Sí,
I didn't know
sí,
that.
yo tengo la premium, no sabía que usted iba a trabajar en Genially.
No.
Ya, la próxima lo hacemos van a tener que darle clic y van a tener que revisar en el Classroom. Para la
Yeah.
próxima versión, ¿no? Los que ya han llevado el curso igual pueden acceder, saben que igual es gratuito, ¿no? Pueden acceder y descargar la próxima versión que la sacaremos seguramente de acá a 2 meses. ¿Ok? Así es que yo les prometo eso, ¿no? Porque si nosotros tenemos Genially Premium, así es que ahí van a poder descargar la, en PDF, en formato PDF. Ok,
Maybe I can share the link with you and you can add it to your premium account because my Genialys are free. They are
ok,
like
entonces
um
puedo compartirle los accesos si se
can,
puede.
can you click again on your Genially to see if it's reusable? I would like to know to see if it's a reusable Genially.
Nosotros sí tenemos corporativo.
I mean, I want to know if my Genially is reusable. If it's reusable, okay, no, we talk about it later. Don't worry. It's okay. We can talk about it later.
Ok,
Don't worry.
entonces, quiero dar algunos alcances respecto a lo que es, bueno, como ustedes ya saben, el curso ha finalizado, ¿no? Recuerden dar la evaluación. La evaluación, ustedes van a tener acceso desde el 16 hasta el 21, que es el domingo. Hasta las 11:50 de la noche van a poder acceder a la evaluación que la profesora Gisela ha diseñado, ya está subido en el Classroom, y el día 22, lunes 22, se va a compartir la relación de aprobados. Aquel participante bueno, que tiene nota aprobatoria va a poder solicitar el certificado, ¿no? Nosotros tenemos un sistema donde el participante puede acceder y puede descargar su certificado. Este certificado te permite, pues, obtener en PDF, descargar en PDF, te permite tener el enlace para lo que es la verificación, tiene también un QR que te permite también compartirlo fácilmente, ¿no? Y puedes también compartirlo con el LinkedIn, que es directamente, se carga y se da a compartir y se puede, pues, linkear en su red profesional. Luego, como pueden ver aquí, ese es el enlace, es un ejemplo de verificación, ¿no? Es un enlace que le das clic y ahí puede un externo, un tercero, verificar que el certificado del participante ha llevado el curso, ¿no? En el periodo correspondiente. Luego se puede linkear con la red profesional, lo que es LinkedIn, ¿no? Y se puede descargar el certificado en PDF. Ese es el formato. Ustedes saben que el costo social del certificado es de 85 soles. Aquel que desea puede solicitarlo y aquel que no puede en el plazo que se indica lo puede solicitar después sin ningún inconveniente. Toda la información respecto a números de cuentas, ¿no? Todo es a nombre de la empresa, así es que eso se estaba enviando al grupo de WhatsApp. Entonces yo ahora voy a proceder a enviar la información de la evaluación y también el link de asistencia al grupo de WhatsApp para que ustedes puedan llenar. Aprovecho para comentarles a aquellos docentes que todavía no han llenado la encuesta. Ustedes saben que estamos realizando una encuesta docente. Pueden, por favor, apoyarnos con el llenado porque aún estamos todavía finalizando, ¿no? Estamos 950 docentes que ya llenaron, nos falta 50 docentes que puedan terminar pues para poder llegar a la meta. Así es que aquí tengo 25 docentes, de las cuales de repente alguno ya llenó, ¿no? Entonces el que ya llenó, omita, y el que no llenó, le invito por favor a apoyarnos con esta encuesta docente que tiene fines académicos, donde se va a sacar un informe, ¿no? Un resultado, se va a publicar esto de la mano de Neurometrics y también de las universidades que se van a sumar a este estudio. Así es que nada, les agradezco. Yo ahora estoy pasando la información al grupo de WhatsApp que acabo de pasar y cualquier duda que tengan nos hacen saber por vía interna, ¿no? Así es que nada, los felicito a todos los docentes. Muchas gracias, profesora Gisela, por ese espacio, ¿no? Por esas 4 semanas maratónicas que nos ha pues permitido poder llegar a este grupo de docentes y poder capacitarlos, sobre todo por el compromiso que ha tenido con nosotros. De verdad, yo estoy muy contenta de poder tenerla siempre. Y allí estamos coordinando seguramente para los próximos cursos. Muchas gracias enormemente por contar con usted siempre. Gracias a mí, a todos los docentes.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, everyone. It's been a pleasure, guys, to meet you. Hopefully, we will see each other again soon. Goodbye, guys. The best of the best for you today and always.